What's up, Japan enthusiasts? 皆さんこんにちは. I'm Max. Welcome back to my channel where we dive into the world of Nihongo and Japanese culture. So today we're gonna be looking at manga or anime that's good for Japanese learners. And I picked about 10 to probably 11 anime/manga that you can start reading or watching today to learn Japanese. So, what is manga? Manga is basically like Japanese comics. Not really novels, right? Because manga or comics have pictures to tell the story. Then what's anime? A lot of people, I think, get confused with the difference between manga and anime, or if manga is an anime or if anime is a manga. Well, basically anime is the animated version of manga. They make manga first and then they make anime based on the manga. Then why do we learn Japanese from anime or manga? Well, like I said, manga is a story with pictures and text, right? So when you just read sentences on the paper, on the internet, it's just text and it doesn't have any additional information. But with manga, you can see what's going on. And essentially, you might not even need to be able to read what they're saying for some parts of the story. You can kind of skip the words that you don't know. You know, of course, you can keep looking up the words every page, but you don't have to actually enjoy the story. And what's good about anime is that you don't read the text, but you can listen to them, you can hear them. Well, I'm gonna make some more videos about how to learn Japanese from manga and anime more in detail, so I'm gonna be talking about those things in different videos. So to sum it up, manga is good for training your reading skills, and anime is good for your listening. And I personally recommend reading manga first, because if you don't know the words, you can look it up and you can get the context of the story first, and then you can move on to anime where you can listen to those words that you studied in manga. Through each manga, there's like a different setting for the stories, right? So you can learn terms or words or sentences or phrases that can be used in different settings. And also through manga, anime, you can learn about Japanese cultures, like respecting elderly culture or different dialects, like specific ways of reacting to what you see, what you hear, what you learn. Alright, so enough of this kind of introduction part. Let's get into the best mangas that I picked. I have 4 categories. In each category, I have a few manga suggestions. Alright, the first category is adventure, or kind of like shounen manga style. The first one in the list is the legendary One Piece. Believe me, it's the best. Okay, One Piece is the best manga, in my opinion. So, One Piece is basically a story about this guy called Monkey D. Luffy trying to become the king of the pirates. What's good about this manga or anime for learning Japanese is that you will see and hear a lot of different characters in a lot of different situations and places. You can actually get the feeling or get the hang of like how different people speak differently. Each One Piece character has a unique way of laughing. And even if you don't understand perfectly what they say, you will still enjoy it a lot. And a native English speaker, Wave, she has recently started watching One Piece, but she's been enjoying it so much. Like, she's totally into it now. And she says that she understands like 60-70% of what they say, even without English subtitles. So it's not gonna feel like you're actually like studying Japanese, but you're learning Japanese from being entertained. And that goes the same for all the other manga and anime that I listed today. So I am going to be rating them out of 5 on difficulty, length, and fun. And for One Piece, difficulty for Japanese learning 3, length 5, because there are more than 1,000 episodes, so you're never gonna run out of the Japanese resource. And fun, obviously 5 out of 5. So the next one is actually another legendary manga or anime, Naruto. Naruto is basically a ninja story. Naruto is a story of this main character called Naruto trying to become a Hokage, which is the leader of the village. He is at first very bad at ninjutsu, which is like the ninja skills, and he's trying to become better as a ninja. So the main character Naruto has a specific way of speaking, and everybody in Japan recognizes how he speaks. And each character has a different way of speaking, and that's iconic. But you will enjoy finding those new ways of speaking. So for Naruto, difficulty 3.5 because it's set in a ninja world where there's like specific ninja terms. Length 4. There are 72 books of manga, if I remember correctly, and there are like about 740 episodes. Fun 4.5. Because One Piece is 5, I just gotta say 4.5 for Naruto, but it's totally 5 actually, but I gotta say 4.5. Next up, Bleach. It's about this guy called Kurosaki Ichigo being something called a soul reaper, and there are souls and ghosts in the story. This is a little bit of a spoiler, but there is this real world, and there's this soul world, and people from this world speaks a little differently from the people from this real world, and those interactions between them are really interesting. So for Bleach, difficulty 3.5 like Naruto, because, well, for the same reason. For length, I would say 4. There are 74 books of manga, and it's complete. Fun, 4.5 like Naruto. I personally like Bleach a lot. Alright, that's it for the adventure shounen manga category, and this is gonna be sports category, so if you don't like sports, just skip it. But if you like sports, just stay tuned. And the first one on the list is Slam Dunk. Slam Dunk is a basketball manga anime. It's about this guy named Sakuragi Hanamichi, and well, he's a Yankee in high school who's never played basketball, but he wants to be, I guess, liked by this girl. He plays basketball just to be liked by that girl. Ooh, the story is so good. He's, of course, bad at first. Well, he's gonna try to be good, and there's another guy named Rukawa, and he's like the opposite type of person to Sakuragi Hanamichi, the main character. And the interaction between them are really, really funny. There are so many good scenes where you will probably cry, probably shed a tear. So if you like sports manga or sports anime, this is definitely a must watch, must read. But I would say difficulty for Slam Dunk is 2.5 because there are mainly those basketball scenes, so I would say 2.5, but you can still learn so much. So for length, 2.5 because it's not very long, and there are 31 books of manga and about 100 episodes in anime. In fun, 4 because if you don't like sports, it might not be fun at all. But even my friends who have never played basketball love Slam Dunk, so it's worth reading it. Next one on the sports list is Haikyuu. Haikyuu is about volleyball. I don't know anything about volleyball, I didn't know anything about volleyball before watching it, but it's such a nice manga anime. Even if you don't know anything about volleyball, it's really fun. And it's about a high school volleyball. The language that they use are, well, kind of like young people's language, but still it's real life language. Totally recommend it. For haiku, difficulty 2.5 like Slam Dunk, length 3 because there are 45 books of manga, and fun 4. It's really fun even if you don't know volleyball. The last one I picked for sports category is Tennis no Oji-sama, or I think in English it's Prince of Tennis. I happen to have these right now with me because I wanted to start reading this again and still enjoy a lot, and I didn't know anything about tennis until I read them, but I read them and I started liking tennis and I actually started playing tennis. And this is about junior high school tennis. So like this, there's furigana for kanjis. So even if you don't know how to read kanji, you can still look it up and learn. Perfect for Japanese learners. And there's a lot of like school cultures too, like senpai kohai. So difficulty for Tennis no Oji-sama, Prince of Tennis, 2.5, and length 3 because there are like 37 books out there already and it's still continuing. And fun 4. Totally, I recommend it. So next category is slice of life category, everyday kind of style category. And I picked 2 specific manga anime for this category. And the first one is Doraemon. Everybody knows Doraemon in Japan. And I have watched Doraemon since I was so little like this. Still, a lot of Japanese people refer to Doraemon when they talk about something, like Dokodemo Doa or Takekopter. I personally never read manga. It's always on TV, like anime. So each episode has its own story. It can stand alone. Even if you didn't watch the last episode, you can still watch this episode and it still makes sense. Of course, it's better to watch more than one episode, like different episodes, so that you will understand more about that story setting. What everybody likes about Doraemon is that Doraemon, this character, has something called Yojigen Pocket, 4-dimension pocket, where he can get futuristic items that can help this main character called Nobita. You will totally enjoy watching those. Even though it's for kids, but still adults like me would enjoy it. Everyday life conversations are in the story and you can actually learn real Japanese from them. So difficulty, it could be 2 because it's an easy one, but there are sometimes hard parts where you might need to understand Japanese a lot. Length 5. It's still on TV every week. There are too many episodes. I don't even know how many episodes there are. You will definitely never run out of the episodes of Doraemon. And fun 3. You might find it kind of too childish, but still it's really enjoyable. And if you're starting to learn Japanese, or if you are kind of like in intermediate level, it's a must watch. It's really fun. And the second one in the slice of life category is Nisekoi. And this is actually not me personally picking it, but it's actually Wave picking it. It's a really popular manga anime. I will let Wave speak about it a little bit.
Basically, it's about 2 high schoolers, a boy and a girl, and their dads are leaders of 2 rival gangs. The dads want them to be boyfriend and girlfriend so that the 2 gangs can be allies. So they have to fake being boyfriend and girlfriend at high school.
I see. That's why it's called Nisekoi. Nise means fake. Koi means love, but more like a cute love.
It's really cute and it's funny and it's not too serious and you can learn about like relationships, high school. There's like a love triangle. It's really cute.
And I have a lot of friends who actually like nisekoi. One of my best friends actually likes nisekoi a lot. For nisekoi, difficulty 2.5, length is 2. There are 25 books. And fun 3.5. Alright, so the last category is an advanced category. For this category, you will need to have a really good understanding of Japanese language. And you can actually study Japanese with these things. Not just learn, but study Japanese. Number 1 in this category is Death Note. The reason why I put this in the advanced category is because there are so many texts. The people in the story are so intelligent. You will need to actually clearly understand what's going on in each part of the story. So it is hard, and I think if you've ever watched it or read it in English, you understand why it's hard. For Death Note, difficulty definitely 5 out of 5. It's really hard. And length 1. Actually 1. There are only 12 books of comic. It might be better for you to first watch anime with English subtitles and understand what's going on, and then start reading it. Maybe that's better for this. And fun, 4.5 out of 5. I want to say 5, but One Piece is 5, and One Piece is the ultimate manga, so I can't say 5 for Death Note, but definitely 4.5. Next up, Bakuman. It's about these two manga artists or wannabe manga artists, and they try to be famous writing manga. And what's good about this story is that you can actually look at what manga artists do and how to become manga artists, and what they suffer about, and what it means to become a manga artist in Japan. If you are interested in manga or anime, this is a must read, must watch. There are mangas in the manga, and one of the mangas in that manga, Bakuman, is actually a manga now too. You should totally read it or watch it. So I would recommend it. Getting the Japanese manga books, or maybe online ebooks, and English ones, and you can probably compare them. So for Bakuman, difficulty, it's pretty kind of like an adult way of speaking because it's about working. So there are difficult words that we use in work situations, business situations, and also it's about a lot about storytelling. It's hard, but also it is such a real everyday life conversation style. So you will definitely learn a lot about Japan and the language and the Japanese work culture too, business culture too. And length 1.5. So there are only 20 books. And fun 4. It's a must read, must watch. So good. And the last one in this video is Detective Conan. But this is about a detective. Obviously, Detective Conan is the main character, and he's a high schooler detective, but because of an accident or incident, his body kind of like shrunk. He now looks like a elementary school, so he goes to an elementary school with the brain of high schooler detective who's super good at being a detective. Like Doraemon, this is also a standalone. Difficulty 4.5 because there are so many crime words and detective words, and those terms are really hard to understand, right? So, and length 5 because it's still on TV like Doraemon. It's probably as long as One Piece, more than 1,000 episodes. Maybe more than that, I don't even know. So many, it's been on TV for so long since I was a kid. So, and fun 3.5. It's still for kids, but actually there are so many adult fans of Conan. So that's it for best 10, actually 11 manga and anime for Japanese learners. They are really popular, so there are so many resources for you to learn from those manga and anime. Definitely recommend all of them. So if any of them sounds appealing to you, just start reading it. Just get it online, or just get the physical ones, or just start watching anime and start learning today. If you actively watch them with the mindset of actually learning Japanese too, you will start getting it. You will start getting something from each episode. You don't have to study it at the desk, on a book, on a computer. You don't have to do that all the time. You can enjoy yourself with watching these or reading these. Alright, so if you like this video, please hit the like button and leave a comment below to tell me your favorite manga or anime and recommend it to everybody that watches this video. And if you haven't subscribed to Max Japanese, this channel, please subscribe and wait for more videos about Japanese language and cultures. So that's it for today's video, and thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Bye.